I recently have been doing some traveling and to art festivals, and on those trips I like to do both like travel journaling and sketching and experimenting and expanding my art ideas. And I just thought I'd share with you what I took with me on this last trip. Rather than do a traditional travel journal, I knew I'd be short on time, so I just took my Hobonichi cousin a vac and that I do my regular daily pages in, and just use it for my trip journaling. So it's just part of my normal daily pages. If I have more, I just add, some tip-ins in. There we go. To the pages, so I can put more pictures or whatever in. So that's what I did this time. I did not keep a separate designated travel journal. We were pretty busy with art shows and such. But another thing I did do was take along a sketchbook, and I did I did do some sketches of location, although not a lot of that. This was a very poor representation of a sunrise I saw, but I just did a little bit of journaling with it too. This was kind of the landscape. We were in Minnesota along the shore of Lake Superior. This was quick sketch at art show that I went back and added some paint to. These actual people were like, this guy would be there for a minute or two, and the people in front of me kept changing, so never was it this scene, but these people were there for a minute or two, or less, as they passed by. This was some experimenting with, I had along some new soft pastels I'd gotten. I'll probably do more on that later, and just how that combined with other media like watercolor and gouache, and I did some negative painting, and just experimentation. I like one of the stickers I have on the cover of my sketchbook is "Make Bad Art," and that's totally true. This again was kind of sort of loosely based on a scene, but it was mostly about experimenting again with those soft pastels, and I kind of listed here what all I tried them with on these pages. This is just a watercolor sketch, just on location. It's not something I do very often or I'm very familiar with. It's okay, and it could be developed from here, but I mainly was just learning and practicing. This was playing with some gouache. This is an idea I had for my patrons. This was a food that we don't have in my home state that they had up there, so I just kind of did a little sketch of it and then painted it in. I saw lots of foliage there that I kind of did some sketches of. So just a little bit of random sketches. Some more, like I just sat in a spot and just sketched all the plants that I saw in front of me, which was fun. Anyway, that's just kind of how I use that. So it's not a travel journal per se, definitely just a sketchbook to do experimenting in, but it was influenced by the locations I was in. So I had those two things, and then I thought I would just also show you kind of my travel kit that I had on that, and that I've been using lately just around the house or on the go. I have been trying to do a better job of just taking my sketchbook and this kit with me wherever I go, and then I always can make some art. I got this by Peg and Awl, and it is one of those things that's very expensive, very nice quality, just a very nice workable piece. I have it kind of extra stuffed right now because I had it all packed for the trip, and then we went to a few places that sold art supplies that I couldn't resist, so I kind of have added to it on the trip as well. So I'm just going to kind of show you what I have in here and what I used most. I have over in this section is kind of like my little sketchy section, and I kind of rotate between all of these. I have just this little pencil holder that's got, you know, holds a pencil stub, and I don't know, there's just something about this that I enjoy, and I like the little clippy thing, so it fits nicely in here. It's also got a nice big eraser with it. I have this lead holder that holds, you know, a big fat drawing lead, and so sometimes I like to use that. I have this that is actually has blue lead, and so it's really nice for sketching and then inking over, and so I enjoy using that. It's a 0.7 lead. And then I also enjoy, this is something I got in Art Snacks years ago. It's a 0.5 mechanical pencil, but I do really like it. You can put in, it has where you can show what kind of lead you have in there, which I think mine's gotten twisted, but so you can put whatever kind of hardness of lead you put in there, you can mark what it is on there, which is a nice feature. So I really like this, and you know, hard to break away from using a mechanical pencil. I like it. And then I added to that on the trip a black wing. So this is the first time I've had a black wing pencil. So that's one of the purchases I made in an art store that we stopped at. And then another thing along that line is this red and blue end, and I do use this for sketching. I more often use it like if I just want to add some color to something, though, either some red or blue. So that's that. I kind of forget about using it to sketch. Another thing that's similar along the same line of sketching that I like to use sometimes is this Stabilo pencil that is, it'll wash out with water, so I really like the effect that gives, and I use these a ton in my art, so I kind of like to always have one of those with me. And then moving on along in this back section, here I have, and this is where I accumulated some more. So I took along a few select colors I took along these combo markers, and I thought for scenery and things those would be kind of a nice color selection. So I took those with me. I took this graph tone. This is similar to the Stabilo pencil. It's 8B, very soft and very fat. As you can see, you get big fat lines, but it's also water soluble, so you can wash it out. So it's kind of fun to sketch with too. I did not even use it on this trip though, so I wouldn't have needed to take that. I don't think I had any of these color pencils along with me to start with. I bought at a couple different locations. I think this was the first thing I bought was this rainbow color pencil, which I'm excited to try using just for fun, but I haven't yet. It was very cheap. I had one of these as a kid and thought they were super cool, so it was kind of nostalgic to me to get another one. And then I added these, what brand are these? Polychromos pencils. I knew these were colors that I have a huge set of luminance, but there's a few colors that I feel like I'm always hunting for that I don't have, and of course I didn't have my set with me, so I was kind of just making guesses, but these I will add to my colored pencil selection. And I did use those some on the trip subsequently to buying them also. And then these I was excited about trying too. I love Posca paint pens, but I found some other Posca products that I didn't even know about. And one was these Posca pencils. I've used them a little bit so far, like them. Haven't really put them to the test yet. So all of those pencils got added to my thing, but I had room in them, so I stuck them in there. So also in this back pocket, I keep this happens to be a Sharpie white paint pen. It could just as well be a Posca white paint pen. It's one with a fine tip, and I just use these a lot on the same note is this white gel pen. This one is a Jelly Roll gel pen, and those two are things I use a lot, both to kind of correct things, and then there's just times you need to add some white. And then along back here in my back pocket, this is a new discovery, or a fairly recent discovery. It is a Schneider brand, which I was not familiar with. It's a 0.5, and it's kind of like a Jelly Roll pen. It writes like a rollerball type pen, but it is permanent, which so it makes big, bold, thick lines, but it's permanent. So I do really like using it in my sketchbook. Like I've used it on those, then I can paint in and, not worry about it dissolving. I think I used it some on this page. Anyway, it's just a very fun pen. I think I used it on these. Fun pen to use if you want to watercolor, if you want a bold line and then want to watercolor. So that's a great pen. I took along this Zig Clean Color. This is a gray, and that can be nice for using on its own or for like shading. I do use it some. I have a Lamy Safari fountain pen, and I love the way this writes. The ink in it is very water soluble, so I'd like to have one that was more permanent too, but there are sometimes advantages to the water soluble, so you just have to know what you're using. And so that's in that pocket. Okay, and then in this pocket I just love how much this will hold. I don't always keep so much in it, but this is my favorite water brush, my Pentel water brush, but I, just as a backup, had another one along as well. I'm not sure what brand this one is. Does not say. I think this one is maybe from a set. I don't know. I haven't used it as much. It works fine too, but I always go back to these. But this is more of just a backup because I use this all the time. Like pretty much all the painting I do while I'm traveling is with this. And then another thing that I really like, because I like to wet my watercolors before I use them, and so I like this little spray bottle. Just sprays a nice misty spray, and but is kind of the size of a pencil, so it'll fit in my case here. So I have that. Okay, and then go into this pocket on the end, which I love that that's there, because in it I have my scissors, my Tim Holtz scissors. That I love these. I have a little eraser, which is a must. I have a little bowl of washi tape. That one's almost gone. I'm gonna have to put another one in there, but that's super handy to have. I have some cartridges to refill my fountain pen. I have a couple little pads of sticky notes. I use these all the time to write down like what I did on a day in my daily journal, so I can keep track of that. I have a pencil sharpener, which again is a must, especially with all those colored pencils I ended up having, but also my sketching pencil. And then I have, this is a skinny glue stick, Pitt brand glue stick. I don't like it as well as, like, you know, a regular glue stick, but these are so bulky in here, and this one fits much better, so I have it. So that's nice to have a glue stick with me. And all of that fits back in there. I also have this like X-Acto knife blade. I don't know what brand it is, an X-Acto brand, and you can get replacement blades. I have had this particular pen for well over 30 years, and I just recently bought a new pack of blades for it, but it's very handy to have that in here. Okay, continuing on with this row, I have here 3 super inexpensive fountain pens, as in they're like, they're like $4 or so on Amazon. Like, you buy a whole set of them and they're pretty cheap, but I have them filled with ink. I do like them. I like for the price, they are really good. I am going to try to get some finer tip ones. I located some secondhand ones that I have not arrived yet, and I will probably replace these in here with those. But I have a green, a teal, and kind of a peachy pink colored ink, and so I enjoy having those, and I do journal sometimes with those. This was a new acquisition. Also, it's a gray, it's a Unipen fine line, water and fade proof. I do really like it. It's kind of fun. It has a window here that you can see. You can see the tip in. This one is gray, a dark gray, and so that's kind of fun to journal in sometimes, or to draw in when you don't want something quite as bold as a black. And this is a 0.1. This also is a 0.1 in black, a Pentel point liner. I also had, this one replaced a 0.05 one that was, you know, a thicker one, but it is running out, and so I will want probably to replace that in there, because I do like having the 2 different sizes of the black pens. I kind of rotate around whether I'm using a Pigma pen or this Pentel point liner. It works just fine. I do like these Unipen. I wouldn't mind getting more of those. I just recently got these Tombow mono drawing pens in a 0.01, 03, and 05, so I look forward to using those. Okay, and then I have, in addition to that, one erasers. I have one of these click erasers. I like the shape and size, and it fits in here nice. I'm not wild about the eraser itself. It's a little bit gritty feeling to me, or kind of scratchy. It's not a super smooth eraser, but that said, I will leave it in here because it's nice to have. This is a brush pen. I'm still kind of trying to get on to using a brush pen. I wish that this was waterproof. It is not, but nevertheless, that like I said before, that can be fun too, to do a water wash with. So that's in here mainly for me to practice with, not because it's a real go-to thing. I already talked about my pencil, my red and blue pencil. I also have in here, I usually have a couple colored ballpoint pens. I like the Sarasa, and this is a Uni ballpoint pen. Those are both very good, and I have them, this is from the vintage set, and this one I have several other colors. So these kind of just rotate around according, I'll use these for a while until I'm tired of that color and want to use something else. But I do like to journal in my daily pages, occasionally with different colors. Like this was with the green fountain pen. I have, what else do I have in here? Green fountain pen. Okay, I say that, and then I have mostly black in here, but okay, there's purple that I used, the purple uni pen. I know I've used the yellow, brownish yellow Sarasa. There's ballpoint pen again. I do use that green ink a lot. This is that gray, the gray pen, this uni pen. I like it. It's very fine and not quite so bold, so if you want something a little more subtle, that's nice. There, this is the Sarasa pen. So I do like sometimes using those other colors, but I do rotate those out just to have some variety. This is kind of a pen on trial. It is a Sharpie S-Gel pen. I do like how it writes. I haven't really decided about it. I think it's water soluble. It's a 0.7, so it's very bold. If it's kind of similar to this one, but I like this one much better because it's waterproof. So this one I know will stay. This one honestly will probably get rotated out here. I'll probably trade in something else for it. I talked about my Stabilo and my gel pen, and then the last thing I have in here is a Bic multi-pen that just has 4 different bright colors. A blue and a green and a purple and a pink, and again it's just kind of fun to have that option to write in different colors. Sometimes I even enjoy sketching in with ballpoint pen too, and so that's just kind of something fun and different to do. So what's in here now is, oh, I did miss one thing also, is I have a ruler in here. I kind of like to get a brass one in here that I don't have to worry about breaking, but this one has been okay so far, and it's just handy to have a ruler anytime. So this is pretty much stays all the time, with the exception of these are going to rotate out for different colors. These markers and pencils, I often have some in there, but it totally changes which ones that I have in there at any given point in time. So that's my pouch. And then one more thing about this that I really like is it does have these 2 pockets, which are, you know, end up being on the outside then. So one of them I have right now has my kind of go-to set of watercolors. This is a vintage tin. It's gotten kind of hard to open. A vintage tin that I, you know, just have my own curated set. These are all a mix of, there's, you know, Daniel Smith, there's, I think there's Schminky in here. There's just all different brands and types in here, but they're kind of the ones that I use the most, and so I can just have this and have really everything I need. I do have some other watercolors that I use as well, but if I'm going to just take one, that's the one. Then in the other pocket, I usually, well, another thing that I usually have, and I don't know, somewhere along the trip, it just got, oh, I think maybe it's right here. Also in this pocket I usually have, and these just weren't in there right now, but I have this little Peerless watercolor. It's just a little scrap of paper in there. This Peerless watercolor for just little snips off of the watercolor sheet, and I have that in there, and that's very handy when I don't even want to get this out, you know, or maybe I don't want to carry it because this is a little bit heavy, so sometimes I don't want to carry it with me. So I do always, this just lives in here and is always handy. And then the other thing is I usually have a couple washi tape in here. These also kind of rotate out depending on you know, what my current situation is. So like if I know I'm going to have pictures that are like landscaped colored photos, then I, you know, might pick something that I think will go. So that kind of supplements that washi tape, their little roll of washi tape. And then this pocket ends up being what I stuff things into as I go. So this is some stickers I got from my artist. Oh, I do have these little sheets of paper that are handy that I kind of keep in there. That kind of actually goes on this side with my watercolors and washi tape. I have some just random stickers, things I collect from different places. And these are a batch of stickers I got from the Flimsy Fox. These are really cute, and I just haven't decided where all these are going to go yet. So I enjoy those. I think I also have a few little bits, maybe, yeah, here's a little bit by Pocket Journal Pam that I have in there. So just some things handy. Again, this is stuff that all changes. This is a reminder card from the eye doctor, but I thought that'd be really cute to cut out and use, so it's in there. I believe this is by Pocket Journal Pam as well, so it's just hanging out in there. So as I you know, get like postcards or anything traveling, I always pick up some things here and there, then I just stick them in that pocket. So that is my little travel situation. I'm very happy with it. It's good not just for traveling, but like I said, just every day I use it because I do things in all different parts of the house. So it's very handy to have, you know, I can grab and go. So hope you enjoyed that, and hope you get to travel somewhere and do some travel journaling. Until next time, bye.